Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Ears to the East, where today we have a subject so dear to our hearts. The dear old Neon wears this subject regularly. The dear old Benedict has this subject on his very skin. That's right, it is the subject of BabyMetal. So BabyMetal, they put out two live videos that have come out on their official channel. They're like the official live videos. One was for Divine Attack, one was for Maya, and they are leading up to the DVD Blu-ray pick your disc type, but not Laserdisc release. Get it on VHS now of their big sort of show. Which show was this? Actually, there's a name for this show, wasn't there? It's like the Happy Night, Dark Night, Sunday Night show. Which one was this?
Sunday Night Show. I like that.
You know, I never remember the names of gigs. It's like BabyMetal did a gig. It's like, oh, it's this show.
Yeah. I'm sure somebody would know. There's so many red, black, dark, light nights now that even I'm just like at that point where I'm like, what one's which again?
You two are the Uber fans. You
Clear
have to
Night,
make sure.
Black Night.
Oh, yeah, Clear
Okay.
Night, Black Night. That sounds right. Okay. So they got Clear Night and Black Night. And I'm intrigued. We just watched two videos. Before I jump into any of my opinions, I'm intrigued to know what you two think. The two who I think I've probably got the most invested BabyMetal fan. I think you've both seen BabyMetal live. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I have.
Only at the Sabaton concert.
Still,
Yet.
you've seen them live. I'm still yet to have seen them live, unfortunately. So
I'm gonna see them in November.
There you go. What did you guys think of these two videos, and moreover the concept of what they're doing here and the live video releases and the hype, and just get us started?
I'm just more surprised that they released two music videos in like the space of 24 hours. Like to me, that's like what? That's like BabyMetal don't give us content like this usually.
Are we
that's
going to use the term music video though? Are we going to use the term music video?
I said this in my reaction that I did actually. I did say that as much as I like these lives, I said I'm craving just like more music videos from them, proper music videos anyway. But will I like scop and turn my nose up at two live, like Blu-ray performances? No, I might fuck.
Well, this was something I wanted to bring up because now I just I had seen these in my suggestions, but I haven't had time to watch them yet. And then I just quickly popped them on before we did this recording because Neon mentioned them. And I must admit, watching them, I do want to know. I need to do the reference, but were they music videos? Was that recording in the background actually the live performance? Now, I think it might have been partially live because whatever it was very clearly, all the vocals and everything have been, done in post-production. They've been, and you can do that. Recording live for anyone who doesn't know. Each of the individual sounds obviously comes out to a mixing desk, but then you can record them all, take them away, and still mix them as though it were a studio recording. So there's no reason nowadays with good quality microphones and everything that you can't have a live performance be mixed to sound as good as a studio performance if the performance is there. But I did notice that as mic'd up as Momoa and Moa were, like their backing vocal bits, I was like, I'm pretty sure that what we're hearing is not their actual performance because it just didn't look like it synced up. Like, it was kind of like pretty much spot on, but when something's like uncanny valley and you're looking at it, like I don't think the backing vocals I'm hearing are coming from them. I'm more than willing to be proven wrong. But
I think you're probably right in that respect, to be honest. Like BabyMetal are renowned for touching up their live performances quite extensively to the point that any slight imperfection they will gloss over. I have my own issues with that a little bit, just because I like a good mistake. I'd rather hear, Momo and Moa, even if they're unclear or the effects isn't as great as what Sue's pumping out. I'd rather hear that, to be honest, than the studio version just layered over. I understand why they do it, because they want to give up this sense of the greatest performance ever when you go and see them live, and there's obviously going to be studio interference there as well, because they don't want to give out a product which is going to be like have too many mistakes in it, and then obviously the the reputation of the band. So there's more things kind of at play. You can't just turn around and go, oh, I want a perfect as they were live sound, because that's never going to happen. Let's be honest. There's no studio on planet Earth that would allow that to go through the freaking front door.
Do you mean they wouldn't allow them to like just put out an as like a verbatim live recording?
Yeah.
if that's what you mean, then I think it's worth pointing out at this stage. Obviously, a lot of people might therefore be drawing comparison to other like metal groups. I do think, again, this goes back to the whole thing that BabyMetal obviously are very different from a lot of other metal groups, and that they are a presented, created, structured thing. It's all about creating the best possible show. But I do therefore wonder, is like, well, I got my hands up. I haven't listened to those two songs for a good couple of weeks, and then I've just heard this live version, so I don't know. It could actually be the studio version underneath, although I don't think it is. And so it's weird. Either you might as well go 100% live and just say, look, even warts and all, we're pretty damn solid, or just do it like the studio version underneath. But going half and half always feels like you're being disingenuous in one direction or the other. But that's just the way I read it. Sorry, Benedict.
I don't think it feels this genuine, because I think it's to be expected for a live DVD that there is work done on the final product. It's not just the recording and they press it on the DVD.
Mixing, maybe a little bit of compression to just get over the volumes level, but
I think also things like correcting little mistakes and things like that. I expect something like that when I buy a live DVD. Yeah,
I would never expect anything to be reperformed. Again, assuming that has been, or that
it doesn't have to be reperformed, but like, you know, maybe there's, I don't know, a wrong note clinging out and you just cut that away or something like that.
Well, this is what I was saying. So I don't know for sure. And again, I'm just sort of more speculating here, which I know will get me in trouble anyway. But it felt to me like, okay, I'm okay with, like, I'm assuming Sue's vocals were as is, but it looked a little bit, when I saw the boom mics and there was a couple of up closes with Momo and Moa both doing their vocals. That's a tongue twister, Momo and Moa doing their vocals. And I was looking at it like, is that what I'm hearing? Like, you get that uncanny valley thing, you know? For anyone who doesn't know, uncanny valley is a term often used with like CGI, when CGI looks like, you know, it looks right, but it doesn't quite look right, and you can't tell why, but something looks off. And it's like, you get that sometimes with like this sort of thing, when you're seeing a live performance, you're hearing the sound, you're like, I don't know, it seems a little bit off, but it could just be the way it was produced.
Yeah, I didn't really pay attention, I have to say, if it's like synchronized or not. But I have to say, the audio, I totally get what you mean. It kind of sounds like produced or like layered in a way. But
there's still enough about that mix that you can tell it's live. Like, for instance, Divine
that's
Attack.
What I wanted to say. Like, it sounds distinctively different than the studio version.
Yeah, well, like Divine Attack, for instance, like the lead guitar out of that one is so prominent in that mix.
I think also especially the backing vocals in Maya, I thought sounded very different than the studio version.
Okay, so that might well be, then it was all just...
Yeah, it doesn't have to mean that it's the live audio.
Well, yeah, I would, if it's a completely separate one, then I'd be like, well, what's the point then? But I mean,
yeah, I'm sure there's some layering going on, and the live audio is 100% in there. We just don't know.
Correct though, just because I maybe didn't cover the full point before I moved on. But when it actually comes to mix, I was going to say I loved the sound of the recording. Now, yes, it didn't sound live, but again, considering that we know that BabyMetal are all about the polish, and we expect them to take the live recording away and like get the compression on the right audios, get the levels perfect, EQ everything beautifully. I expect that from them. I don't expect it to sound like, you know, like a garage recording. And so from that perspective, I think it sounded amazing, which is why I couldn't tell without direct reference whether it was the studio version or not, because it was so well mixed. I was like, well, this might as well be the studio version. So from that side, I loved the mix. I was bopping my head along. I was really enjoying it all the way through. I was just kind of a little bit dubious about whether it was necessarily the same performance we were seeing in the video. that was all I really meant on that side. But
yeah, there's definitely enough in there that to say that there's definitely some live performance of some sort. What I'm really kind of gutted about is the fact that they took the crowd noises away. I can't remember. There's one part particularly in Maya where the crowd cheers and you can faintly hear it, but you can tell that they've
really that's a shame.
Took it out, or they've tried to lower the crowd noise until the end. Which I don't really like. I don't really see the point of that. If the crowd's hyped and they're cheering in between the quiet sections, just let them cheer. It's a live performance, for fuck's sake. Like, I don't see reason why they need to edit that out. Because to me, it just sounds like we're watching the video and it just sounds like the crowd's completely fucking quiet. And
I don't get that part as well, because I think actually the crowd adds to like the whole vibe you get from the live performance, and the more the crowd is hyped, the more you are watching it.
Yeah,
I mean,
again, that's where there comes into the mixing, and the case of looking for that perfection can be a little bit too perfected.
just like sterilize it a little bit.
Yeah.
I actually agree with what you're saying. If you had that mix, but then if the audience sound, it's old as time memorial, you have you don't just leave the audience to sound the same all the way through. It sounds like white noise. But if the audience participate in one bit, you move them up at that bit. Oh, this is the bit where they sing along, lift up their sound, and then during the verses maybe turn them down so you don't have just unnecessary noise in the background. That's not fakery. That's just normal, isn't it? Because you're amplifying the actual atmosphere of the event. Actually, I totally agree with you. You hear them at the end, but you don't get the
you don't get the sense during the song.
Yeah.
What I will praise them is I think the quality for this DVD is a lot sharper, a lot crisper. Like BabyMetal are renowned for having like really fucking grainy, pixelated, horrible fucking effects laid over their DVDs. Yeah, I mean, there's a big shout out to the one of the BabyMetal chords. I can't remember if it's the Foxhole or BabyMetal Tube. It'll be one of them. I apologize. I'm sure somebody in the comments will tell me who they are. But they got a couple of guys that like to upscale the videos, take away the grain and stuff like that. And I tell you what, the quality of like some of the older videos from like 2014 and stuff looks like amazing.
Yeah, but that's 2014 when the word HD was still
when the HD was still big. But even some of the latest ones as well is incredible. But yeah, BabyMetal still use that grainy effect. It's not as prominent in this one. There's lots of shots of Sue and the girls which are really kind of clear and look really, really crisp. But for some strange reason, they still use that, I don't know what it's called, like grain or effect or something layered over their visuals. And you know what? I never noticed it until that group pointed it out to me. And ever since they pointed it out to me, I can't fucking unsee it.
I think it's like that thing, maybe this is one I don't know, where you wear your glasses all day and you don't really notice until like maybe you just see something or someone says, oh, your glasses look a bit dirty. And then suddenly you just can't look out of them anymore. Like, oh shit. Yeah. So, and you clean them, like everything looks 10 times cleaner. And like, how did I not know that? How are they on my face all day? Yeah. So I do very much sympathize with that. But then again, I mean, I got shit eyesight, so when people show me 4K, the only way I go into like Yodobashi here, like they've got all the TV section, which I usually walk through just to get to the toilet. And like you're in there, and it's like all the 4K TVs. It's like with my eyes, I can't tell they're 4K, and it's like I stick my face against it, like, oh yeah, pixels are really small. But I think for some people that kind of thing is really, really, really important. I did when I load, even with my eyes, so when I loaded it up on my little screen, I was like, wow, this looks really crisp. This looks really well recorded. And you got all those like crane cameras wanting through. And you imagine if you're like in the audience, like, yeah, I'm enjoying it. You're not getting blocked by another person. It's just a crane keeps flying over your head. Ah, shit.
That's something I wanted to ask you guys, because in both of those videos, if I'm correct, and I think I watched another live one from that concert as well, the three girls are always in the middle in this circle where the camera is moving around. And yeah, I think in the comment it was mentioned in the concert, they will also go out of that circle and like go along the stage. But to me, everything I've seen, they felt a bit like constricted to the circle and didn't really have the chance to use the whole stage. It's a bit unfortunate, I think.
I wanted to get into that as well. And I'm glad you said that first, because I thought I'd come off a bit negative. But for me, like the LED, whatever it was, screen looks amazing and everything, but everything from the set design to the fact that the band were only visible when they were zoomed in on, it felt it didn't
a bit sterile.
It didn't feel right to me. Like you say, the band were very much in this circle where they couldn't really move. And I remember at one point I was watching it, I was like, the choreography feels really low energy. And I was like, no, it's not the choreography that's low energy. It's just like they feel so small compared to the stage and they're not allowed to use the space. And the fact that the band, who I know the band are the backing band, but BabyMetal have a live band. Why the fuck can't I see them? Where are they? And it's like, I kind of feel like it should have more of this sort of explosive, these people are larger than life rather than these people are smaller than the stage. So in a way I will agree. I think that the stage was getting like most of and they just look like these little pinpricks on the stage that weren't able to like chew up the scenery in the way that you want BabyMetal to do. You want them running down. I feel
in a way it takes a bit away of the energy, because in older
100%.
BabyMetal, when they were starting out, they were always running along the stage from left to right, spreading out, coming back together in the middle, and that's something that really enhanced the choreography. And now they're always like in this same space where they can't get out because there's the camera moving around.
Yeah, I agree with Howard though with the whole Cami band thing. I don't know what world or possessed Cobra to go, you know what, these guys are really, really amazing. Let's move them to the background where nobody can see them. I've never understood that decision. I really, really love the Cami band when they were like in full flow early on in the girls' career. And it just feels like they really just kind of,
I mean, I would assume they want to make this like this whole show an experience and not really a concert, and that's why they kind of get rid of the musicians. I don't say that I like that, but
I don't like it.
That's thought of it.
That's why you dressed them up and made them look, the white face paint and all that. That's why they did that, is to make them part of the show. Yeah, I know you're not disagreeing with that, but I mean, the interesting thing is that the whole BabyMetal thing started off with, as you guys know, they started off doing like Doki Doki Morning with little skeleton outfits in the background, fake playing, and then the whole bit where they really started becoming popular, not in just that breakout way, but when they really sort of became like everyone's taking them seriously, we actually like this as a real band, was that Metal Resistance thing, was like, oh shit, they got like a real band, and the real band are like also just as crazy as them. They got the crazy image as well. And everyone was like, well, this is bringing all that theatrics, all that pop fun, all of that theatrical look, and delivering quality metal as well. Whereas it feels like, I think maybe
BabyMetal's peak for me, I think, that area.
It's like
that's
they were on the
perfect, said in the comments. Yeah,
they were on the perfect knife edge, and it feels like the perfect knife edge was accepting all of these things. But it feels now like the celebrity quality is very, like, this looks like a pop show. It looks like if you got like a famous singer and put her on a stage, that's the kind of stage you'd put like Mariah Carey on, for Christ's sake. It doesn't feel like a BabyMetal stage. It feels like a Mariah Carey, even Ariana Grande stage. And like BabyMetal stage should look like a rock stage, because that's the point. That's the reason why people like them, is because they're a girl band. They dance, but they do this metal music, and that's what people love about them. That's what cemented them, took them from being a breakout, like, what the fuck is this, to actually this is a band worth following long term. And I'm not the first person to jump to the defense of metal in every single sense, but metal is what turned them into a serious act. It's what took them from a shock and a surprise and made them a serious thing. And so it feels a little bit like the current direction is somewhat rejecting that. I will quickly add, sorry, I'm waffling again, but I will quickly add, the stage reminded me, I don't know if you've seen this recently, but there was a thing that came up in Las Vegas. They built this venue called the Sphere. And I think it's called the Sphere. And you go inside, and the entire inside, it's a huge, like a golf ball shaped thing. The entire inside is an L.
Is this the one with like the yellow face and that people have been? I think I've seen that on TikTok, and it like the dome's got an LED screen outside and inside, and outside there's like a big yellow face or something. Look at that. I've seen that.
The outside changes. I mean, they literally can project anything. Like sometimes it's an eyeball, sometimes it's the planet Earth, and the inside's the same. So imagine going in a venue where literally there are no walls. Like the entire inside is just like and all that. And apparently their first concert was U2. Of course, things, and everyone was saying like U2 was just like this little speck of a few people standing there, and it's like you can't even notice the band. It's just like, holy shit. It's like being in a roller coaster and someone gives you a pair of small headphones, like, I listen to my latest demo CD. You're like, nah, dude, I'm a little bit too taken with everything else going on right now. And I kind of felt a little bit like the set was like that. It's like, like someone was like, hey, the LED screens are more important than BabyMetal. It's like, can we just have a BabyMetal stage with like crosses and whatever the fuck other stuff they want to do, let them just be BabyMetal.
I mean, it might change again, because this is the concerts for the other one, which is supposed to be a bit different, but so maybe they will change it up again. I don't know, could also stay the same.
I feel like we've been like leaning a little bit heavy into the negatives of this, so I want to give a bit of a chance, and partly my fault as well, but I think it's because we so inherently like this band already that we're always looking for the nitpicking, but not to be negative. Let's talk a little bit about the positives. First of all, 2 really great songs. Listening to it reminded me just how good these 2 songs are. And, like sometimes when Benedict talks about how much he likes this album, I'm always like, well, I don't know compared to the other ones, but this kind of reminded me, it's like, yeah, this is a real banger of an album. And I was also listening to that. I was like, with Sue giving a live performance, her voice sounded, I've always been one of those people, I'm not like jumping straight to, Sue's the greatest singer ever, but here she just sounded really good. And I feel like her voice has been coming along over the years.
That's also why I have to say I really enjoyed these live performances, because the backing vocals felt a bit increased compared to the studio version.
That's true. I really hope they were live. Given the benefit of a doubt now, the backing vocals were very prominent as well. So it really felt that it was a good, powerful performance with just great singing and the music as well. Like, these are good songs. Looking forward to a monochrome one. I want them to do one for monochrome. Yeah. And then maybe they'll do one for Metali, although that wasn't at that gig, was it? They didn't release that till after that gig, so we won't see
the music video came out for that, so I don't think they'll re-release that one. Probably is the live
I think you got a good point. Yeah, I think these are like placeholders for songs where they didn't have music videos, aren't they?
Which I kind of good about. Like I said before, I'd really like some more music videos from them, but like I said, I won't turn my nose up at some nice YouTube free content for our channels to consume.
How great was it though when the music video for Metali came out? Whether you like music videos or not, weren't we all just sitting there and it gives you that fuzzy feeling like, oh, this reminds me of the proper videos. Like, always reminds me of when we had Megatsune and Ina.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I'm feeling all the old. It was I think everyone who was around it back in the day with BabyMetal, even me who wasn't really following them but was there when they were coming out and saw their videos, it just sort of immediately gave you that fuzzy feeling of, yes, this is why I fell in love with this group. Yes, it was nice because you got that tingling sensation back from when we first saw them, and we were all like, first time anyone sees them, you're like, what the fuck am I watching? It was like that all over again. So that, I guess, I'm with Neon. I'd like to see more music videos just because it plays to the craziness that is BabyMetal, doesn't
it? Going back to the LED screens, I mean, you have to admit it's a epic show still. It's
like if you're watching that in the crowd, like seeing that. Well, I think what they've done perfectly is they've got the scream and the choreography down to a T. They really kind of complement each other. The girls may be a little bit restricted from what we've seen, but I'm sure they will branch out as the show goes on at some point. I feel like probably the two music videos we got are probably the bare minimum of what's on that DVD, to be fair. Trying to give us breadcrumbs, for the main course later down the line. But it's still a fantastic show. Like that, I said this in my reaction as well. Go and watch it, guys, as well. Shameless plug there.
Neon Reaper.
But I said the choreography is down to a T. It's the one thing when you go to a BabyMetal show, unlike most metal bands, when you go to see a metal band, you go to see the band, the music, and it's awful, it's gravelly, it's intense, you rock, you mosh. That's what it's supposed to be. BabyMetal aren't quite like that. Like, not only are you there for the music, but you're there for a visual treat as well. It's as good to watch as it is to listen to. Which is why, when you see them, there's a lot of people that go to BabyMetal shows that don't like to mosh. Like, they just like to watch the girls because, and I don't blame them because it's really hard to take your eyes off them,
They got a lot of connection to like Perfume, haven't they? And like Perfume, obviously Perfume are very much a produced sort of pop sounding group, and I have a lot of respect for them as what they are, but obviously it's nowhere near the sort of pure musical energy of BabyMetal. But they are known for the fact their shows are visually insane, and I think they have the same choreographer and the same person does the stage show, like the visuals. That might be old information that might have changed since, but like their stage shows are like, people sometimes just go for the stage show regardless of the music with Perfume. And I get the feeling with BabyMetal, like, let's say occasionally when the room goes dark and you see like 1,000 lasers, you're like, I get a Perfume vibe here. I see there has been someone of a similar mindset at work here.
I think it's absolutely true that it's an essential part for BabyMetal, also the show itself. Because, I just saw them once live before, and that was on the Sabaton tour. I mentioned this to Neon before we started the video. And there, BabyMetal was just the special guest. So obviously they were not the main act of the show, and they didn't have like a big stage production like we saw in the video, or like Sabaton that came after them. And, that really took away a bit of the amazingness that you can get from a BabyMetal concert. because there they just had, you know, a few light panels in the back, which was cool as well, but nothing compared to like a huge screen like that or the things that Sabaton put on after that.
Yeah,
I mean, I totally
really hoping for some cool stuff in November.
I was really blown away in a sort of a post-COVID world when I started seeing posters. Oh, it's a new BabyMetal gig, and I look at it and I look at the poster. I was like, wait, BabyMetal are the opening act, and like it took me ages to realize like BabyMetal are operating as an opening act occasionally. And I thought the same thing. I was like, apart from the fact that I can't believe, you know, looking at bands like Sabaton, and obviously you can tell I've been out of the West for a while, but I was like, Sabaton are more popular than BabyMetal? I was like, all right, fair enough. And okay. But then when you look at things like that, and the first thing that comes to my mind is that, but BabyMetal are a show. So how are they going to turn up and perform on someone else's stage? It's like that detracts a bit from like the BabyMetal thing. Is like, you know, one amplifies the other. So yeah, I got a bit. I've never seen a video of them performing on someone else's stage, but I almost feel like I wouldn't want to do it. It's like, you know, watching like an albatross with clipped wings. It's like I can still walk around and make the noises, but that's not really the point, you know. So yeah, interesting though. At least they get an exposure. At least people find them. More gigs are better. You know, more people get to see BabyMetal than better. You know, turns more people over to this good quality music that we promote here.
I'm still pissed they opened for Sabaton and we didn't get another version of Imagine I thought like,
yeah,
I was
avoiding that as well.
I was avoiding mentioning that. I was gonna say, oh god,
it was the one song I was sure they would play.
Yeah,
I was like, please tell me that they didn't subject you to Oh Imagine I, the worst BabyMetal song. But
on next episode, it will just be me and Benedict. People, we will remove Howard for your.
I was going to say, I've realized towards the end of this video that in this like nice video, is like most of the points, which weren't negative, but most of the critical questioning came from me, and I was like, I am going to basically rile a lot of feathers.
Yeah, I was about to say all the negativity is coming from Howard in this episode.
The only one without a BabyMetal.
Yeah, the only one who's not seen them. Spot the hater, people. Spot the hater.
Going downhill, Howard.
I think it's going just in the right direction, if you ask me.
All right, well, let us know in the comments, guys, what you think as well. I'd really, really appreciate it. Let me know who's going to get the DVD. Big thank you from all of us. Stay safe.
And who's going to get the Blu-ray because you're fancy.
Ooh, yeah, the Blu-ray because you're fancy. But also, remember, keep your ears to the east. And also, Howard hates BabyMetal, confirmed.
Next time on Ears to the East, BabyMetal versus Bandmate.
Yeah. It will just be us two next episode.
They coexist.
So hashtag Howard out in the comments. I want to see it.
Hashtag Howard hater. Hashtag
Howard hater.